We're here with our possibly final sit-down of Onimusha 2, and I don't know if I did this for previous parts, but I just wanted to show off this music video that does not fit this game at all.
Wow, it's like 80s.
It's like very 80s or 90s, like Japanese shonen anime. It is bizarre.
They might as well just have star wipes at this point.
And they just
slow down.
They just take in-game cutscenes and just heavily edit them with a bunch of effects.
Do you think Japanese people would have found this like funny? Like at the time, it would have been like, ah.
Because I won't say that the Onimusha games are like depressing, like super depressing, but they're definitely not light games. There's a lot of dark elements.
They always seem to have one character that's kind of like the comedy, but it's not ridiculous.
Even in this game, the comedy character I would say is the young ninja.
But he even has
Kuma.
dark stuff. He's the one who like hates all women because of
like
whatever.
He hates his mom or something. It's like, wow, okay, all right, let's get going.
Wow. So how's everyone doing today? It's just me and Trevor. I just got...
AKA Comfy Hour.
Comfy Hour. I just got done with work on a Saturday, and it was ridiculous.
Can this year end? Can 2020 end? And then 2021 be better? That's important.
I honestly think it's because Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers.
Yeah. The entire world just collapsed. Because of that one
the pets. Everyone just falls down.
I ended the last part with Spencer probably doesn't remember this at all. But I ended the last part with explaining that I didn't have enough of the fossilized bones to open up the super secret door in this game. And I thought behind that door was the most powerful sword in the game, but it was actually just a necklace, the black necklace. And it's a cool item. It lets you one-shot most regular enemies in the game, but it also drains your HP when you use it, so... I mean, if you're good at the game, it's not a really useful necklace. And it also doesn't work in the Demon Realm, which is when you're going down the ladders, which is like the only hard part in this game, so it's kind of useless. But you get those fossilized bones from trading with people. And I was trying to find that third fossilized bone. I was loading previous states, and I was just trading over and over and over again. Because it's all pure RNG. But I finally found a good guide, which was just a PDF of the scan of the official strategy guide, because all the game facts are just pure garbage. But what you have to do is, you can't even trade items to characters that they love. What you have to do is trade items to characters that they only, like, moderately like. And when I read that, I was like, I don't care.
Huh.
How are you supposed to know that?
That's really confusing.
Because there's four grades. There's basically, they reject it immediately because you're either regifting or they just fundamentally don't like it. And then there's they don't like it, they'll take it, but they really grumble about it. And then the middle one's like, it's okay. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's the category that you're supposed to do, the most likely to do it. But yeah, once I knew it was just a necklace and also it was stupid to get, I was like, I don't care. So, this LP has taken a while for me, because we've taken some off weeks. Some weeks I've done Pokemon, but I am over this game.
Just ready to be finished. I hope Onimusha 3 is, like, more streamlined or something.
This game it's good.
What is it?
Jubei.
This game is, like, fundamentally better than the first game in every single way. There's more things to do, there's more weapons, there's a cool mechanic with that double trigger mode. The game's harder, I think the bosses are, I guess, better. But there's just something about this game. I think it's how it reuses a bunch of areas, it reuses most of the weapons. The main character is just the most boring, nothing character in existence. And I'm not saying that Samanosuke from the first game was amazing.
No, he was pretty average.
But the beginning of Onimusha 1 was perfect, because Samanosuke literally dies. And you sort of, like, you understand the gravity of how strong these demons are. And the only reason why you're able to fight them is because some dark god gives you a power in your hand. But in this game, he's just born half Oni, half human. He's boring.
That my husband had 3 daughters.
He's given everything. He's just a boring protagonist.
I felt betrayed. I wanted.
And then, of course, you have the most boring romance with the most boring girl.
But I learned that my brother Nobunaga was trying to ruin the Asai clan. Once I became a member of the Asai family.
There's some story going
I
on.
should stop my brother.
They're basically just saying that she's
So
the
I went
sister
to
to
Ifukazum
Nobunaga.
and tried to take his life.
Oh, dang. Got some family stuff going on.
That's when I met you. After that, nothing else mattered to me. Only you.
That seems reasonable. We've known each other for about 1 day.
She should fall in love with the young guy that hates women.
Now I can admit
That'd be
I'm
cool.
being selfish.
At least it's better than falling in love
You
with a
said
guy
that
that
your
doesn't
mother
say anything
is your
ever.
mother, no matter
Isn't that the way it works in every anime, though? Like, isn't in, like, Persona 3 and 4, like, obviously they're silent characters, but isn't every girl like,
for me.
what's that? What's Persona 3's guy?
I have
Arisato?
to.
There's a lot of different canonical names, but the Persona ones, I mean, I'm not defending those names at all. They're basically just the visual romance.
Yeah,
novels.
that's true.
But at least you choose different dialogue to say, and like the dialogue can like be positive or negative depending on the character you're talking to. But this one, you're just watching a movie and he says one word every 10 minutes. Oh dang. You got interrupted.
Here we go, Jube. It's game over for both of you. Ouch! Oh, ow.
Also, that guy is me. I just want to point that out. Like, no matter, whenever there's, he's like,
that's probably the most important character in this entire series, other than Samanosuke.
that's so funny. Is Samanosuke only in the first one?
He's the protagonist of the third one as well.
Ooh.
Joint protagonist.
Yeah, with, that IRL
man.
guy, Jean something or other.
Yeah, Samanosuke is also based off an actual Japanese. This is just telling you, use the sacred flute against this guy, which is convenient because we got it 15 minutes ago.
You know, this is kind of an open-ended, like, thing I'm saying, but it's really hard to make game design that doesn't end up being just kind of like what Trevor just said, where it's like, get item, use item, like, you know, somewhat close.
Yeah. Because if you do the reverse and you give an item, like, it would be like something Silent Hill tier, where it's like you have an inventory of items, and then you're supposed to use an item that was in your initial inventory.
Yeah.
Like 10 hours in. It's like, how are you supposed
A
to
great
do that?
example that is actually pretty flawed is Clock Tower 1. You pick up the flashlight randomly in
That's a
episode
good
1.
Yeah.
And then, if you don't have the flashlight, you can still beat the game in episode 3, but you cannot get the best ending because you don't have a flashlight. So it's really hard to not be like, here is item, use item later, you know what I mean? And it's really hard to make it the game logical, in that, like, what if you got here and the sacred flute was like an item you don't need to pick up? Then you'd be like, okay, well, I can't win. And you would have to, like, they would have to write, like, an ending here, you know, whatever, like, something. Or make it different paths, so it's like, I don't know, there's a lot to it.
That's like the two worst examples of either giving an item the room before they have to use immediately, or giving it an item that you can miss in like the first scenario that you have to use in the third scenario and get like the worst ending in the game.
I feel like a lot of adventure games fall under that latter. The latter one. So, I don't know. And you know what? People generally don't care. Like, look at Zelda. You get an item in the dungeon, and then suddenly every single thing you do in that dungeon involves that item. And people don't care. They're not like, ugh, you know.
Yeah. So, if you remember the first 2 times we fought this guy, he was basically impossible and countered everything. Well, he's extremely weak to this item. I'm not going to say we're going to beat him in like 2 seconds, but kind of depends on how much I get in here. Alright, didn't hit him a whole time. Unfortunately, this game, this also applies to the first game, but once you have like a lot of magic and you have a lot of weapons, you pretty much just spam magic because it's objectively the safest and best thing to do. Because when I'm using the special attack, I can't get hit. So there's no reason not to use it, and it takes a ton of damage.
Huh.
And then you just swap to another weapon that has MP, and then you just use it.
Those are some iframes, I tell you what. That's still my favorite. I think that was in the first game, if I remember correctly.
Every item other than the hammer was in the first game.
By the way, you have like no.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that one, I don't know what it is, but that, the way that's set up is just the best. I also like how he doesn't really take that much damage. Like, against you. So, like, you use that Sacred Flute, and then he becomes pretty standard.
Yeah.
Pretty standard blows.
At least he gets away from some magic moves, like he wasn't getting comboed by my electric sword.
Dantes.
Well, it's just one of those things that...
What?
Yeah, I care about this character now.
Magnificent. You've become so strong. Dantes.
This could have all been avoided if you just didn't fight me every second.
Impressive.
Who's this guy again?
Gorgon Dantes, the strongest swordsman in all the demon
Oh,
realms.
so he just has to, like, fight. That's just his thing.
That's his character. He's the strongest swordsman, and he talks kind of flamboyantly.
Name is Gorgon Dantes, the greatest swordsman of all the demons.
There you go.
Thank you, Jubei.
Nice wink. Oh, those eyes were weird.
Hey, remember Oyu? She just disappeared.
Yoink. Yeah, that's... The Resident Evil games, if you think about it, which Onimusha is obviously pretty similar, at least in the, you know, the first one or whatever. It's another example of, like, having a hard time with that item thing we were talking about. Because it would be really frustrating if you could, like, get to the end of Resident Evil 2, for instance, and be like, oh, you didn't pick up the second crank in the police station? Well, you can't beat the game now, bucko. You know what I mean? Like, that's very frustrating.
Yeah. And then you have moments like this where it's like, oh, you have to leap past this thing, and oh, what do you get? Herb.
That's why Resident Evil 1's will always be my favorite overall Resident Evil in terms of, like, how it's set up, because almost everything is, like, within arm's reach. Whereas Resident Evil 2, you, like, do the police station, then you never go back. And almost every other one. Resident Evil 1, it's like, you do the mansion, then you do, like, the guardhouse, and then guess what? You're back to the mansion. Do you want me to not look this up?
Yeah, I guess so. Just look up puzzle box solutions. I'm pretty sure this is just a power gel or jewel, but...
Okay.
Maybe I can kind of problem solve this one. So, gotta do this. Gotta bring...
What area are you at?
Gotta bring this down.
You're near the end of the game,
I
right?
almost got it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm near the end. It's probably like puzzle box like 10 or 11. I think there's only like 12 in the game.
It's not Oni's Sacred Place, right?
I don't think so.
Gifu Castle. Oh, it's not number boxes, right? Apparently this is set up in different ways.
Oops. I think I actually have it.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I have no idea what I'm looking up. Also, IGN's mobile website is awful.
Gotta do this. this. Yeah, buddy.
Nice. I did not end up looking that up.
Alright, so there's really only 2 more areas in the game, and they're both pretty short, so should be good to go to finish this sitting.
And then Trevor's going to go straight to Onimusha 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely going to take a break, but I want to do it, I'll probably do it by end of the year, maybe.
Wasn't there an Onimusha PSP game? Or no, I think it was just Blade Warriors.
Yeah, there was Blade Warriors, and then there was Dawn of Souls, or whatever it's called. And Dawn of Souls is a weird game, because it's like an open world RPG thing.
Yeah, I always noticed it's 2 discs, which was pretty uncommon for PS2.
I never really gave the game a chance, because it was like different, and I like probably played it for less than an hour. I was like, eh. I really haven't heard anything bad about it. It's not like, oh, this game killed the series. It was mostly just it naturally died because Capcom milked the series so fast.
Gotta love them.
It was just such a weird series to like. Onimusha 1 came out in 2001. This game came out in 2002. And then Blade Warriors.
That guy looks just like me.
Clan has made their way to Odani Castle. Our victory is sealed.
What? Hey, wait!
I mean, to make 5 games for a series in a single console cycle that's not like a Madden or something that comes out every year is pretty crazy.
And it's just such a weird series to be like, gotta make one every year of this.
Gotta make 5 Onimusha games. And Blade Warriors counts because it's an Onimusha game.
And it's obviously that these games aren't low budget because they have really extravagant F&Bs, and they literally use the likeness of incredibly famous actors that Americans aren't familiar with.
Do you remember
Japanese are.
when Super Smash Bros. Melee hit it big, and then every series was like, hey, we have I guess you would call it an arena fighting game. Onimusha Blade Warriors.
What's this?
It's Shrek
Super Slam, which by the way, people seem to like because it gets
we gotta do
like,
that game someday.
it gets like expensive. Like it's
All
like
right.
$20.
So there is an ending cutscene for this, and I think if I can get my affection high enough, I can get a better one than the one I got today. At least maybe, but I definitely have some items that she still likes, especially the para ring.
Her face is red and happy. Here's another one, Trev. I don't even know if you remember this one. Beautiful Joe, Red Hot Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
Also made by Capcom.
Hey, you like Beautiful Joe, right? How about you just want another like side-scrolling platformer? Hey, how about a arena fighting game? And then of course, there's the kart
This
racers.
ring will make me feel like we're together.
Oh,
Always.
Yeah, that was the para ring, so I'm hoping that really boosts it up, because you only get one of those in the game. Thanks for the normal bullet for that.
can you give her a fork?
I think wasabi is also good for her.
Well, that went right to my nose.
Would you just eat wasabi? Who else? Hey, question of the part. Who else?
I guess I'll try. Definitely don't. Here's a really weird item. An amazing flower. If you give this to
Whoa.
someone, he or she will black out. It's like, what are they insinuating? Because, I mean, you give them to her and she's like, oh, I feel lightheaded. And you're like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't raise the affection. It doesn't give you an item. It's like, what are they going for?
So here's question of the part. Right. My brain just went blank. Crap. What was I talking about before?
I think she likes this one.
I think Trevor handed me that flower and I blacked out.
No,
Right.
she hated it.
Oh yeah, when you get sushi, question of the part, when you get sushi, right below, do you eat the flower that comes with it? I don't know what it's called. Like, it's usually a green or pink flower.
We may be able to
And the
get to
wasabi?
roll with this.
One of them or none of them?
If it comes with ginger, I never touch a ginger.
Ginger, I guess that's what it is.
Are you talking about the yellow flesh stuff?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like sometimes it's green and sometimes it's pink.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I hate ginger. I think it tastes nasty. Wasabi, I like put on like 1 or 2 rolls, just as something different, but it's not my favorite. But I definitely use the soy sauce.
See, it's funny. I do not touch the wasabi because it's a little too hot for me. But I'll just eat the ginger just separate.
Okay, so I will actually
Turning it the wrong way.
die if I fail this. I did make a safety save just in case,
The opposite direction.
but this is actually not forgiving. It's hard to tell because these actually raise at different rates. I generally have to do the left one a lot more. But if you like let it go too crooked, it'll jam. Okay, I think I got it.
Huh. So you're just using both analog sticks?
Yeah, and you have to do it in the opposite way.
We have no time. Hurry.
I know. Okay, I think I got it. But yeah, this is one of those things that you just instantly die if you don't get it.
What happens?
It just Junpei or Jubei just makes a grunting noise and then you instantly die.
Oh, it doesn't like show like a something happen. Okay. Ugh.
What do we do now?
Look how weird Jubei looks.
He has like the alpha Chad chin. It's like crazy.
Yeah, but he also has like the anorexic hollow cheek.
Yeah.
Watch out.
It's very weird looking.
You know what I was just reminded of because of Capcom? They're literally the Mad Lads, literally remaking Resident Evil 4, the one game in the history of mankind that doesn't need a remake.
I just don't
The
understand how they're
HD, the
gonna do
HD
it.
upgrade was fine, but like a remake?
Yeah.
The Mad Lads.
And it's not even guaranteed that they're going to make it serious because RE3 at the end was incredibly corny and awful. I mean,
Oh, like the Nikolai stuff at the end or whatever?
I mean, Nikolai is just such a generic.
Just everything, yeah.
But especially it's like Jill holding the rail cannon. Like that entire moment, that entire boss is just so bad.
I thought that was a game I would play multiple times, and I played it once and was like, gotcha.
It's just, yeah, it's RE3 Remake is one of the most disappointing Capcom products that I can remember. I mean, I'm sure that Capcom has made worse games, but it's like a game that I had expectations for, because RE2 Remake was great.
Really was.
Let's find Tokijiro.
But yeah, they're the Mad Lads, the absolute Mad Lads, are remaking one of the only games in history where you're like, because it's not old enough, even though a lot of older games are perfect, like you could make the argument like, hey, Mario RPG could get a remake because old graphics, and you could be like, okay.
So there's a trick box here. It's just a magic jewel, and this one's the most complicated in the game, so who
Rip.
cares?
Yeah, like anything PS2 or newer doesn't need a remake, like a full remake. PS1 is the cutoff. Like, if they were like, we're making an Onimusha 2 remake, I'd be like, why? Just make it an HD texture version of it, you know? It's like Shadow of the Colossus, like, just don't remake it, just make a new IP then, or whatever.
I just think Capcom's salty about RE4's sales in general, because it was locked to a dead console for like 8 months.
Oh, you mean the Cube?
Yeah. Because, like, when RE4 came out, like, every journalist in the world was like, man, this game is genre-defining. It is going to change video games.
And it did!
But it came out, like, in 2005, like, January 2005. And at that point, the GameCube was just dead. It was a dead platform.
Do you think Resident Evil 4 is the most important game in the last 20 years, since, like, 2000? I mean, you can't say it's more important than like Mario Brothers or Pac-Man or whatever. That's not fair. But the two that come to my mind, and I know it sounds silly, but it's God of War and the first one, obviously, and Resident Evil 4.
I'm trying to think. I would definitely say the last 15 years, since it came out in 2005. But there was games like Half-Life 1 that came out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Doom 2 was a little too...
I guess Half-Life 1 came out in like 97 or something. I forget.
Something like that.
Or was it 2000? I forget.
Just do it.
I guess it's a good one. I didn't think about that because it's mostly PC. Half-Life was very important. Did it change? I guess everyone started to copy it, right? But like, my question is, has any game instantly caused so many other games to just straight copy that.
Yeah, I would say that possibly.
What?
You know,
Like, obviously Mario Brothers was the
Yeah.
most copied game ever. And I would say Doom, the original Doom, is extremely copied as well. But of the past, like, 20, 15 years, you know, whatever.
And it's like you can guarantee that games like Gears of War or Dead Space won't exist without RE4.
And then remember, it's not so much anymore, but QuickTime events for like 10 years was just constant.
And Half-Life is an influential game, but it really only influenced FPSs to like kind of evolve them. But like Doom is a more influential FPS, obviously, than Half-Life. It's just a more refinement of the genre. So I would say RE4 is.
That's another
probably
question of the part. If anyone wants to answer that, think of just a game that's more influential. You know, it really is important. So yeah, why are they remaking it?
Medallion Castle will fall.
I will say, if they don't make Leon be as sassy as he was in the original Resident Evil 4, it's a 0 out of 10.
I must do something.
Like, if he doesn't have a bunch of one-liners, I'm
Dude,
out.
and before they make him a generic, grizzled old,
What?
Western dad.
Chris from Resident Evil 6? I've had enough of
What
this
is
crap.
this? We can attack with this.
Do you know what you're doing?
You know, that's another one, if you want to think about it, if you're talking
Like,
Capcom stuff.
there's no way they're putting Hunnigan
Let's
in
do
the
whatever we
remake.
can to stop Oda's army.
Hunnigan is one of the weird parts of it, but...
There's no way they're putting Salazar in the game. Like, you can't have a little tiny guy spouting weird dialogue in a remake.
See? Nothing to it.
If you look at it, Chris Redfield has probably one of the craziest character arcs of any video game ever. You know, because
That took it, Jiro.
most characters, like, if like a Mario or whatever, are like, you know, there's no real character to it. But Chris has changed so much. In Resident Evil 1, he's the most boring, generic dude of all time. Going to RE5, Hulk Chris, to RE6, like, drunkard, suicidal guy.
Yeah, it was just such a forced development. I mean,
to RE8's or RE7's, like, he's, like, 20 years younger or something? I don't quite get it, but...
it's just like RE6 in general. It's just like, hey, what Hollywood tropes can we copy?
Why didn't she just jump down? Well, it didn't even look like it would kill her. Oh. Then it, like, instantly explodes into a huge ball. It's like, she's fine, and then the whole world explodes. Oh. 8.